We are back with Dr. Joel Gallagher with Allergy and Asthma of NC. So here we want to ask about this. Does age affect how susceptible you are to outdoor allergies?
It does, actually. You really don't develop environmental allergies until about age 3 or 4. And that's because you have to experience the pollens several times before your immune system recognizes them as, foreign agents. So usually kids about 3 or 4 will start to experience those environmental allergies. And they tend to get worse into your 20s and 30s and then tend to get better after that.
Okay, so I was about to ask, is there an age when allergies peak and then will go away, that we can look forward to that?
Yes, so after your mid-30s to early 40s, they'll start to get a little bit better. But that being said, I still see patients who are well above that, and they have allergy symptoms.
And they have allergies, so it's not like that's going to go away.
No.
All right, how about this? Are allergies hereditary?
They are hereditary. There are a number of genes or genetic coatings that make you more susceptible to allergies, and they do tend to run in families. So oftentimes we see entire families in our practice who have allergies.
And with that, is that like allergies to pollen or like allergies to food, or it can be anything?
Usually the environmental allergies have a stronger genetic component. Food allergy is less so, but definitely environmental allergies as well as asthma and eczema.
Okay. Now, how long can we anticipate the seasonal allergies being so bad? And I don't know if that changes depending on where you live.
It does change depending on where you live, and it depends on what you're allergic to. Some people are lucky enough to just be allergic to tree pollen, for instance, which is sky high right now, but by the time May rolls around, it will be a lot lower. But most people we see in our clinic are sensitized to tree pollens, which peak in the early spring, and then grass and weeds, which get worse in the summer, and ragweed, which starts flaring in August and continues to the first good frost. So depending on what you're allergic to, you might be having issues year round.
Yay! Okay. All right. So at what point should someone consider allergy testing and not just doing the over-the-counter thing?
Well, I think if the over-the-counter stuff is working, I didn't even mention the nose sprays earlier, but there's Flonase and Nasacort and some other good options over the counter. If they stop working, I would probably come and see an allergist so you can maybe pinpoint more of what you're allergic to. And if you want to take that next step and do allergen immunotherapy or allergy shots, you'll need to see an allergist to do that.
And what's the upside to that? Do they get gone easier?
It's a curative process. It's kind of a long time commitment, but we give injections of what you're allergic to retrain your immune system. That's how I describe it to patients, so that you don't have all the mucus production, the itchy eyes, the sneezing from all of your allergies.
Okay, so a cure process, but it takes a process, so it is a couple of years.
It's a process, yes.
Okay, so with COVID still around, not wanting to confuse seasonal allergy symptoms with COVID, we wanted to go over this again. What symptoms may be related to COVID and not to allergies?
So COVID, we've learned, can do just about anything, but between allergic rhinitis and COVID, they both cause a lot of runny nose and congestion and sneezing. But with COVID-19, you'll often have the fever, which again is never allergies, and the inability to smell. So think of that if you're worried about COVID. And of course, take a rapid test since they're more available now.
I was curious with the stuff that you take over the counter, like the Zyrtec and that kind of thing. Should you take it during the day? Should you take it at night? Are there pros and cons to doing both?
Yeah, so most people might have some sedative or sleepy side effects to it. So I usually recommend starting at night to see how they tolerate it. And often I recommend doing it on the weekend when you don't necessarily have to go to work, in case it does cause grogginess.
Okay, and if one doesn't work for you, should you just try another? And how long should you try it? Like a week and a half?
You should know within a week if it's working or not. Some people notice that it stops working after a month or so, and I just recommend changing to a different product for another couple of months. So a lot of our patients' medicine cabinets have multiple antihistamines, and they just change it according to the month of the year. So,
because your body gets used to it and then it cycles it out. All right, thank
Precisely.
you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. If
Thank
you
you
missed,
for having me.
Yes, absolutely. If you missed any of this information, you can find it on our website, WFMYnews2.com.